Hello, sunshines. Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host, Heather, known as Bunnyfish on all of the internet places. And today is Saturday, the 1st of November, 2025. How are you? I'm just checking in because I have some goals and plans for this month. And since setting my goals and plans worked really, really well for me last month, I'm going to do something similar types of goals, I feel like. So let's just get started on that. So first things first, I am working on this sock, and it is the second sock in a coordinating matching pair with this. So the main color and contrast colors are going to be reversed in the socks. So definitely want to finish this month. If I somehow don't finish that, I assume I'm in a coma. But I want to finish this. I want to put in the heel tonight. It's almost 4 p.m. So I have to drive my kid to work. But then after that, I have the evening. So I'd like to put the heel in. And that leads me to my second crafty goal, which is, this is my bag of Croy sock yarn. And I don't know if you can tell, but there are no more full skeins of Croy socks in here. I've used up, or not used up, but I've worked up every single skein of Croy socks that I've gotten this year. And that I have, period. So I want to start and hopefully finish, but definitely start a pair of scrappy Croy socks. I think I'm going to make them not matching, but like coordinating. So I want to start with this color at the top. It would be these three minis and this. So obviously the stripes aren't going to match. It's not going to look the same. What is this called? Something about blueberries, I think. I don't remember. But I want to start that. So scrappy socks. I should be able to start and finish this pair. They're just going to be ribbed very similar to this, but scrappy. So that's my thought for that. And if you've been here for a while, you will have heard me talk about how I want to use up all of the yarn that I've acquired this year. I still want to do that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is formidable because it would include these Croy scraps and this basket. I'm not going to try to use it all up in November. In fact, these are slated for December for Advent knitting. I actually want to set that up very soon. Hang up my Advent calendar just so I can look at it throughout November and enjoy it and appreciate it. There are some 5-gram minis in here for like during the week, and then 10-gram self-striping ones, which I would do on weekends, and making scrappy socks for my kiddo. Possibly another pair of thigh highs, or not a pair, probably not a pair, but like maybe just a random thigh high, but maybe just regular length scrappy socks, because they do wear the regular length socks fairly frequently. So I haven't decided exactly how that's going to go, but that's a December problem. Setting up the Advent calendar is a November problem. So that's 3 crafty goals right now. Then I have this bag of green minis, not a November problem, maybe a December problem, maybe a next year problem, and I'll just be okay with not using it all up. But what I do want to work on in November is this. I have a skein of shepherd's pie from Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and I asked my boyfriend if he would rather have longer socks or shorty socks, and he said shorty socks. So I'm going to make a pair of shorty socks using shepherd's pie. So that's what, 2 pairs of socks now that I want to start and finish. I think that's still doable, especially because they're shorties. And he has requested that I make his socks with slightly more negative ease, so smaller stitch count. So should go pretty fast. I think 2 pairs of socks is doable. I also, then the rest of this is, I don't know. We'll see. Like, I have thoughts for these, but I'm not sure. Oh, they're so pretty. And I want to make this for myself, but do I want it to be socks? Do I want it to be fingerless mitts? You don't know. I got the coordinating mini skein just in case, so I don't know. But then I also have 2 projects on the go that I have some goals for. I would like to finish the first of my kiddos' Haverland Mini thigh highs. Not the pair, but just the first one. I'm about halfway down the leg. So if I keep working on it, like make a real effort on it, I think I can do it. I really do think it's a good lunch knitting project, but I also think that I need to chip away on it throughout the day. Or not throughout the day, but like after school, before school. So I don't know, because I like my lunch project to be something that just sits there, that I pick up and work on there. But I haven't really been doing that. So I don't know. But I do want this to be complete by the end of the month, especially if I'm going to be casting on other socks for my kiddo. So we will see about that. And the last, like, knitting project that I want to make progress on is I want to make my daughter these leg warmers that I said I was going to make her, not to her, just on this channel, that have been, this is like 2 months worth of progress. What? That's ridiculous. So I want to make them just so that it's out of my stash. It's out of my mental space. It's off of my knitting list. Yeah, just, I want it done. So I'm going to do that. And I think it'll be, if I still have it on the needles, I think it'll be a really good project for when we go see Wicked for Good. Is that what it's called? At the end of the month, because she really, really wants to see it. So I think any of these projects would be good for Wicked for Good, honestly. None of my plans right now are complicated projects. So that's good. I do want to work on my nor'easterly still. The place that I'm at right now looks like this. I'm currently striping 2 minis because I make the rules of my blanket. And I think that looks beautiful. So I would like to finish off this strip at least, because what I want is to use up these minis. Why, yes, if you are watching these things back to back, I did finish putting in the green that I used for my lacing stripe socks. So I want to put in these 2 minis, and I want to work in these to the blanket as well, which these I'm only going to put 2 2 garter ridges into the blanket, and then I'm going to put the rest into my sister's cowl. I might put more than 2 garter ridges of the ball because it was a 20-gram mini, but maybe I'll just put 2 in and then put, I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put 2 stripes into my nor'easterly blanket, 2 garter stripes, then put a row into the linen stitch blanket, which I do not have goals for right now, but other than, finish the 12 inches by the end of the month. And then I'll put the rest into my sister's cowl. Maybe not the rest. Put the rest or 10 rounds into my sister's cowl, depending on which one comes first. So this is super doable. That's not that much to put into my nor'easterly. And then I also have this pink, which I will put some in and then put into my sister's cowl. And I don't know how far that's going to take me on this strip, but if it finishes it out and I have to start another strip, cool. And if it doesn't finish out this strip, I will grab some more, another few minis, whatever I need in order to finish it. So those are my crafting intentions, but first just look at how beautiful my nor'easterly is. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, oh, you're the most beauteous thing. And I see a lot of people making scrappy blankets like this, like the nor'easterly or a jelly roll, and they use like 20-gram minis or whatever. So it's very blocky. Like this is a big block and this is a big block. And so they have like those really big blocks. But I really like that mine has it does have some big blocks, right? But it also has parts where it's just little tiny blips of color. And I love that too. I just love this blanket so much. I love all of my scrappy blankets that are for me. And I like some of the ones that I'm making for other people. No, I think I like all of the ones that I'm making for other people right now. Side note, my little one and I just watched Wicked, which I haven't seen yet. She saw it in theaters. We were going to go see it together, but then she was with her dad and his mom took her to see it. So I can't be mad about a grandma date, right? But I haven't seen it, and we're going to go see Wicked for good. And she was like, you have to see Wicked first. Okay, kid, I'll see Wicked first. So we watched it today, and I made some pretty good progress on the, the beekeeper's quilt that I'm making for my oldest kiddo for when they graduate high school, which is fast approaching, but I still have more than a year to do it, so it's not my priority blanket right now. But I filled in a whole little section, sewed in the little hexapuffs. I think that I've decided when I use up a yarn in my nor'easterly that if the strand is long enough, like, I don't know, at least this long, because the strand has to be from here to here to be able to fit into my nor'easterly, like to make a pass, to make a full garter ridge. That's how long it has to be from my fingertip to the center of my chest. So if it's not that long, but it's longer than 10 inches, then I'm going to use it to seam up a side of a hexapuff into the, oh my gosh, I've been saying so many blanket names. Which one is this? The beekeeper's quilt. So I have a little pile of ends still to use to sew in the hexapuffs because some of the hexapuffs had ends still attached. But yeah, I think that's going to be my goal in November as well. Of course, the purple is not going to be used to sew up the Hex Puffs. That's going into my sister's cowl. But any other color, like the gray that I'm using right now, or the beautiful variegated that I'm using right now. Let me show you this variegated. I used it to make a pair of socks, and I don't remember who this yarn is from, like what dyer, but it's just so beautiful. It's like oranges and blues and browns and just very autumnal, and I love it. I also have some reading goals. So I want to finish up Hip Hop History, which I'm not very far in. Page 110 out of, well, out of 297. So there's only 200-ish pages left. That's not so bad. And then Geek Girl, I'm like just under halfway through. So hopefully that'll be good. And then I have 2 shorter books that I want to read only for the week, which is a spicy romance that I heard about from Shelby in the book club. So it's 218 pages, I think I saw when I was checking this morning. Yeah, 218 pages. Should be quick. I actually kind of just want to start reading it because I kind of want to read something spicy right now. So I might start reading it tonight. I don't know. Or I might just continue reading Geek Girl, which is going fine. It's just, and I don't think that's where my brain space is. Maybe I'll put Geek Girl on pause for a few days, read only for the week, and then finish up Geek Girl. And then I want to read Dear Manny, which is also shorter. It's only fascinating content right now, right? It's only 197 pages. It is part of a, I guess, series maybe. Dear Martin and Dear Justice. I've read those 2. It's a series that it's for young adults, and it definitely like questions, it raises conversations about race and race relations, I guess is the best way to put it. So I haven't heard anything about Dear Manny, but I can guess based on the cover art what it might be about. And I really, really, really like Nick Stone's writing a lot. And then Cinder and Glass. It's a book about Cinderella, I imagine, by Melissa Delacruz. And I know that when I was a teenager, I read books by Melissa Delacruz. I think they were about vampires. Does that sound right? Let's see about list of books. Oh, the Blue Blood series. I read some of those books, not the whole thing. So I don't remember if I liked her writing style or not, but I know that I read several of them, so I couldn't have hated her writing style. And I love Cinderella. It's Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale, but Cinderella is my most read fairy tale. I think it's just because there's so many retellings of it. And I am listening to, on a playaway, Enchanted by Orson Scott Card. So I might not finish it this weekend. I might, though. I might finish it this weekend, or I could finish it next weekend. It's 17 and a half hours. I'm also listening to in my car When the Moon Hatched by Sarah something. Is that right? I don't know. But I hope to finish that this month also, although I will be having significantly less time in my car after today, which I'm so thankful for. I love my kid, but I don't like spending 3 hours of my week driving them to work. So those are my goals. Let's see how we do, shall we? Hey, sunshines. It's the 2nd, and I have already finished 2 of my month goals. So the first one, I hung up my advent calendar. I started this when my kids were small, like 2 and 4 maybe. And then I didn't finish it until they were 13 and 15. There's a Vlogmas where I talk about this. Anyway, I put my minis mostly in the ornaments, but sometimes they didn't fit in my tree ornaments. So like this is a bigger ball. That's a 10-gram mini. And on weekends, my plan is to work up 10 grams during December. But anyway, I'm just so excited. It's all ready to go. And these are the 2 minis sets that I'm using in December. Not all of the minis are in here. I think there were maybe like 7-ish, less than 10 that I'm going to be using for other things. Hey, sunshines. Happy Tuesday, the 4th of November. How are you? It is just after 12:30. It is a school day. However, before all the things went down, before October turned really, really crazy, I can't remember if it was in September or in October. I think it was right at the beginning of October. My oldest kiddo finished driver's training and needs a social card to get their permit and eventually license. Their social card is missing. So they set up an appointment because we tried to do it online with getting a replacement social card, but like couldn't make it work for a minor. I feel like if my child was not a minor and was requesting, it would have been no big deal. Could have done it online. But because they're a minor, it didn't work. So we had to go to the Social Security office. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. I don't know. And like, so we made this appointment for today. Well, not we. My oldest kiddo made the appointment. And so I took the day off because I didn't know how long it was going to take and like all this stuff and whatever. And then I woke up in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. and I was up from 2 to 5. And then I took a nap until 8. And then I woke up because when I made the appointment, I was like, you know what? I'll just have a mental health day. I feel like I'm probably going to need it. And I did. And it's been so lovely. So we went to the appointment. We were there for literally 2 minutes. Like the clerk took my kiddo's passport, took my license, filled in the paperwork, printed out the receipt. 2 minutes. So I've been having the most lovely day. I woke up and I started knitting, and let me show you that, and then I'll tell you what else is up. All right, so I'm trying really hard to work diligently on my goals, which I'm going to have to go back and watch because I haven't written them down yet. So probably tonight I'm going to rewatch what I talked about so that I know what they are. But I do remember that I wanted to work on this. So the last time you saw it, I was in this stripe right here. I've put on a bunch of work since the last time you saw it, which was just a few days ago. I don't know, but I'm proud of that progress. Look at that. And these, it's so autumnal. It's so beautiful. I'm loving the autumn. It's just, it's so great. It's so great. It's so pretty. I've made a lot of progress on this leg warmer for my kiddo. I'm pretty sure that Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was up here somewhere last time you saw it. So I just needed the kick of having it be a goal, apparently. I have 20 garter ridges. So I'm using the idea of the rye sock or is it the rye sweater that I made for my daughter? I think so. I think they're still both called rye, where there's just like a garter ridge panel down it. So I have 20 ridges. I think I'm going to, so I'm very nerdy and I love my kiddo very much and she's very into Taylor Swift and I would like to do 39 because that's 3 times 13, which is Taylor Swift's favorite number. I'd like to do 39 and see where that takes me, but I don't know if making this twice as long is going to be long enough for a pair of leg warmers. We'll have to see when I get there, but that's my tentative goal right now. So I'm about halfway there on that. I have been working on my nor'easterly. So this is where I was at the beginning of the month. This is where I was this morning. Yeah, I was somewhere in this self-striping purple yarn. And now I am on to the Haverland minis, which are only going to be 2 rows a piece. So that's exciting. I do want to finish this stripe, which the Haverland minis are obviously not going to take me to because I'm only doing 2 rows a piece. But yeah, I do want to do this stripe this month, I've decided, which is I have more than enough minis set aside for this blanket that I can just pick some other things. Because in December, while I'm working on the Advent that I made for myself, I also have a skein of yarn that I want to work into this blanket. So yeah, that's where I am with that. And I put a square on my blanket only for the weekend, which, look, I'm on the last row. I have 2 squares done and I think it's 14 squares across or it's 12 squares across. Let's go with 14. So that means only 12 squares left, which is exciting and maybe doable this autumn to winter, because I am listening to When the Moon Hatched and I'm definitely more than a third. I'm approaching the halfway point of that. I am past the halfway point in Enchanted, the book that I'm listening to. I'm halfway through reading Geek Girl. I have been reading a little bit of Hip Hop His History. So that's 4 books that are definitely being finished. And I have my TBR for the month, which, even though I deviated a little bit from like what my original plans were, did I or did I not? No, I think only for a week was on there. It wasn't on my original list that I talked about last month. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm making good progress, and now I am going to go run some errands. I am going to go mail off some letters and some packages at the post office. I am going to go vote because it's voting day. I am going to pick up some Taco Bell for myself, and then I'm going to go hang out at my boyfriend's house with his dog because all of my things that I needed to do today, mom-wise, are done. And I didn't expect them to be. So that's kind of lovely. Hey, sunshines, it's Tuesday night, and look! Past the 12-inch mark. Very exciting. Yay! So another goal to mark off from the crafty goals list. Very proud of myself. Yay! I have also finished Geek Girl today. It was okay. Like, would I recommend it to a grown-up? Probably not. But would I recommend it to some of my middle schoolers? Yeah, I could see that happening. The main character is definitely neurospicy. It was enjoyable and not a tough read. Just, not like an, oh my goodness, this is an amazing read. Hey, sunshines. Happy Wednesday, the 5th. Yes, 5th of November. How are you? It's 7 p.m. and I am exhausted. Okay, so I went with my boyfriend to the cancer center today, and they did blood work. The oncologist checked him out, and he says he's pretty sure it's not cancer. So that's really exciting. I'm glad I took the day off, though, even though the appointment was so fast. Like, amazingly fast. We were in the waiting room area. Well, I was in the waiting room area for like just over an hour. So that's so fast, I feel, for any type of appointment that I've ever had to go to. But I think all of the stress and the worry and stuff really hit me because I went back to my boyfriend's place with him, had lunch, and then I passed out. Like, I slept so hard. I was like, maybe I'll take a nap. And so I set my alarm, or timer, I guess. It's a timer. I set my timer for 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours for sleeping and 20 minutes to get to sleep. And I definitely turned off my alarm and definitely slept like 30 minutes after that, which is very long for me. But yeah, I feel like there's just been so many, like October was very, very stressful. Not all like terrible, right? Like my kid working, that was great. My kid doing driver's training, that was great. But just like, well, I guess driver's training was in September, but whatever, like just extra stressors, right? And then my boyfriend having to go to the emergency room and maybe having cancer and stuff. And just, I feel like today my body was like, okay, we could breathe. So I'm basically a professional waiter, though, like a person who waits. I'm professional at this. In case you're new here, I used to wait in the parent pickup line every day for like an hour. So I'm professional at it. I'm so good at packing my bag. My boyfriend was like, you have a lot of stuff. And I was like, yes, but I'm going to touch every single thing while I'm in the waiting room. So, and I did. Let's look at progress that I made on knitting today. This is probably the last day that I'm going to check in like in a row about knitting progress, but look how much I did today. So here's my sock. The brown was where I was last time you saw it. I worked in a whole mini. I actually need to attach the next mini so it's ready to go. So I'm going to do that before bed. I don't know where this sock was last time you saw it, but I'm 2/3 of the way through it. A little more than 2/3 of the way through the foot. I have right around 20 rounds to go. And then the toe, so making great progress there. I only have about 60 rounds left on this sock before I put it on size 0 9-inch circular needles, so 2.0 millimeter. So that's exciting. So I definitely want to get to the toe on this so I can work it. I mean, I guess I can just work the toe on the second thigh high needle, but it would be nice to do it on this one. Since I'm not going to be working on this as much now, it's going to get set aside because work the next 2 days. I started reading Dear Manny. I think I said yesterday that I was going to start it last night, but then I was too tired. I played a game on my phone instead. But I started it today. It's only 197 pages, I think, and I'm already on page 87. I like it a lot. It's part of a series, maybe a trilogy right now. That's Dear Martin, and then Dear Justice, and now Dear Manny, where young men are writing letters to other men. Like the first one is to Martin Luther King Jr. It's a high school boy writing to him in modern times. So like they're all writing to dead people, or no, not dead people. The first one and the third one, they're writing to like dead people who can't respond. And then the third one is something else. Or the second one is something else. Anyway, they're really, really good. They deal with race relations. It's young adult, and I feel like it really, really makes sense for high school or college age students. I'm very much enjoying it. It's more grown up for sure than Geek Girl, which I just finished reading, which was like YA, but like definitely high school. This I feel like could be a little older, and like Geek Girl was very like fluffy. It didn't really tackle anything, but this deals with heavy issues. This one specifically, the main character, Jared, is at college when affirmative action is repealed. So, yeah, it's really interesting. I'm probably going to read some more tonight. And I just want to show you, there's a really cute thing one of my pen pals made me. These have a name. I don't remember what they're called, but it's so cool. So this is the letter, and this is the second letter that was in the package. But look, I haven't even opened this. Some extras. I don't know what it is. I'm very excited. But look. It's got stickers and just, it's so beautiful. It said pull up. Oh, it says it right here. Yeah. And look, it's got a little koala and some cat stickers, and this cat is just cute. It's beautiful. And little papers under here. And I haven't looked in. Ooh, books. Books. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. I've seen some people who do like pen pal with me things, and they make these or have them sent to them. Oh, there's stuff inside there too. What? This is so cool. I just feel so loved right now. It was such a nice surprise to come home to yesterday. And then I opened it this morning because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a present for myself. So obviously I haven't started writing back, but I will. Maybe this weekend. It was such a nice surprise. All right. I will talk to you again soon. I hope that you are able to relax a little bit today. If my vlog is the relaxy thing, that would be such an honor. It's November 8th. It's a Saturday. It's going to be a busy day. So my brain is already like, my youngest kiddo got invited to a birthday dinner for one of her friends who she's known since kindergarten, I think. Definitely since second grade. I've known her mom since they were in second grade because we were field trip buddies. But I think they've known each other since kindergarten. And so Mara got invited to the family dinner, and so I have a thing that I have to do in the middle of the day. I hate when I have plans because then like everything has to be around that plan, right? So I need to today make, or at least journal 2 books because I've finished, did I tell you? I think I told you I finished Geek Girl, right? And then I have also finished Dear Manny. I finished that yesterday. Very good. Sad. Really good, like, introspection into race relations and things like that. So I have to make that square, or those two squares, because we're going to stop by the library on our way back from her going to dinner, because it's like, it's one of the multiple ways that we could take to get home from this place that we're going. It puts it like on, or not super out of the way, like on the way-ish. It's only like, I don't know, three blocks out of the way if we go one way home. So that's what we're going to do. I have another book on hold, so that's exciting. I haven't started a new fiction book, so I have to figure out what book I'm going to read. While I take my kiddo, while she's at dinner, it's in the same complex as a Michael's. So I'm going to go to Michael's because I have 2 projects that I want to start, but I don't have the yarn for. I want to make something that I'm not going to talk about here because it's going to be my winter yarn hop project, but maybe I'll show you the yarn for it. I just need a skein of Karen Simply Soft, and I want it to be white or cream. And then I want to make my cousin, who is getting married in August, a wedding blanket. So I want to start that now because the pattern that I want to make is a crocheted cabled blanket. I made a version of it for my friend Jenna for her wedding a few years ago, several years ago. Let's go with several. But it's labor intensive and it's a blanket. So like it's gonna be big, and I don't want to be working on a giant blanket over the summer. So I'm going to pick up yarn for that today too, I think, if I can find the color that I want. I mean, it's not a tricky color. It's just beige. Beige is one of her favorite colors. So if I can find beige, but I was looking on the Knit Picks website and they didn't have it in the superwash yarns. They didn't have beige. I feel like beige is has been in the recent couple years, such a like hot color. Like, how do you not have beige yarn? So I don't know. I'll see if they have it. And yeah, I just have other like mom stuff to do today. So I'm going to check in with you before we go, like right before we go, because I'm hoping to have some things in finished off states. And I have a new project that I started this week. So stay tuned in the next 5 seconds so I can talk to you about that. Ta-da, ta-da! I finished the second sock of the purple pair. I'll block this and then put in a picture of the pair here. Aren't they beautiful? And so when I got to the toe, I was at home and I had left the first thigh-high sock at school. So I put it onto the second and knit most of the toe on here. And I was on autopilot and I totally forgot that once I did the turn row on the folded hem, I was supposed to switch to the Haverland Minis. So there's 5 rounds that are in the Knit Picks Stroll Dogwood Heather colorway instead of the Haverland Mini, but it's fine. It's scrappy. I don't think my kiddo is going to be too mad. And then this morning I switched this sock onto this needle to work it with this sock. And I've done about a stripe per my pattern in here. And in this stripe, I think it was the stripe, it may have been the brown stripe, I did a rapid decrease. So there's way less stitches on the needles now than there were up here. So the stripes down here are going to be longer. which again is fine. I don't think my kid is going to be mad about it. So that's exciting. I also finished 3 squares on my reading blanket. I only need 7 squares to finish this blanket off. That's really, really exciting. It seems very doable because there's about 7 weeks left of the year. So this was for Geek Girl, Dear Manny, Enchanted. Oh, it's so pretty. The whole thing, so pretty. I also finished the first leg warmer. My daughter said that 39 garter ridges was good. I just went ahead and put an I-cord bind off on the bottom. She liked the length. She wears her leg warmers way lower than I would wear my leg warmers. So even though she's taller than me, this is going to fit her just fine. And I've casted on the second one, but just barely. Hello, sunshines. It is Sunday the 9th of November, and it is a beautiful day. It's a little bit snowy outside. When I was leaving my boyfriend's house, my windshield had autumnal leaves on it and then a layer of snow, and it was just, snow makes me so happy. It's my favorite. Anyway, so it's a cozy day. I'm going to watch some Lord of the Rings. This is the second leg warmer. I am halfway through the leg section of it, so more than halfway through the project. I would like to finish this today. I feel like that's doable. I haven't journaled this weekend, so I'm going to do that. And I got out my snow washi tape because I like to mark all of the days where we have snow because I just love snow so much. I know other people are like, snow, and I was like, oh, it's snow. It's magical to me. I'm also going to work on this blanket, and I don't necessarily need to get the strip finished today to feel successful. You know, by the end of the month is fine. But I do want to make some progress on it. And I think that I've decided that I want this to be the border color. I just think this would be so pretty with all of the other colors. And I just love it so, so much. So I'm considering, because I have 2 skeins of this. So I don't think I'll need even a full skein for it, but maybe I will. I don't remember exactly how much it takes to do an I-cord border around a blanket because I haven't done that in a very, very long time. But I'm considering that. And I could start that as soon as I finish this part of the blanket, this strip. I could go back and I would probably pull off the bind off on the top of all of these and then knit the I-cord bind off. I think that's probably what I would do. And then I have a whole long side that I could, very slowly put the I-cord border on, because I do not love doing an I-cord border, but I love the way that they turn out. So that's what I'm thinking. I have some time before I need to make that decision. I mean, I could just wait until the very end of the blanket. I'm not going to do that to myself because I know I hate that, but I could do that. And I think my next panel on this blanket, I'm going to do separate. And I'll probably do like another 5 and then do what I'm doing here, which is attaching 2 different panels. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I already have my yarn picked out for my next panel. I'm very excited, but I'll talk about that when I get there. I'm just so excited for this project. I also said yesterday that I was going to show you something that I started. And here are Scrappy Croy socks. This one has 2 smaller minis of this blueberry, blue raspberry, something like that colorway in it. And then I'm going to attach this ball to this sock. I did use the plum color pretty much evenly for the socks, which is why they're both started, because I wanted to use it on both. I didn't do a really great job of splitting this yarn, the blueberry yarn, because it was just like, oh, I have scraps of these, so I'll put all the littler scrappy bits over here and the bigger scrappy bit over here. But I feel like this sock is going to have way more of this blue raspberry color in it. Whatever, the recipient's not going to be mad about it. So I'm super excited. I started it Friday before school, and so I was working on it on Friday at school, and then yesterday I just knit a whole bunch on this one, which is cool. But I'll check in with you in a few hours to see where I am. Maybe I'll probably check in after the first Lord of the Rings movie, because that is my like cold weather, cozy movie. Fellowship is over, and I'm about to start Two Towers. I am on the bind off on the second leg warmer, which is exciting because I don't really want to be working on it, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's fine, it's just not... It's a project that I wanted to make because I wanted to use up the yarn, not because I wanted to make the project, you know? So, it's fine. It's almost done. I did cut this scrap short because I figured this was long enough for one mini to be in, and I attached this really beautiful brown, and getting very close. How many? That many rows. It's definitely less than 50 because I counted a little while ago and there were 50 ridges left. So definitely less than 50 ridges. Probably not going to be tonight. I'm about to go over to my boyfriend's and have dinner and hang out. So I'm not going to take this blanket. I'll probably take the socks. But we'll see. I'm going to leave in like 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to finish this and weave in all the ends and stuff. Hey sunshines, it's evening time. I did finish both leg warmers and I started a blanket. It's very tiny. Because I had this pink yarn, both of these pink yarns left over. This was part of the worm. This is the leg warmer yarn. And I want to use it up so it's not just sitting there. And I also have this, which is a blanket that one of my friends made a long time ago, but then never used because, as you can see, gauge changed and it wasn't a rectangle. And so it's just been sitting there forever because they didn't love it because it wasn't perfect. So I'm going to rip it out and make it into this granny rectangle, which is actually cool. I've been crocheting for 35 years, right? But I've never made a granny rectangle before. And I don't know that it's the best start that ever happened, but it's not terrible and I'm pretty okay with it. So that's exciting. I'm making a granny rectangle blanket. And my tentative plan is to make it as big as the yarn will allow. So I don't know if it will end up being bigger or smaller, but that's my tentative plan because I have a work daughter now. Never had a work daughter before, but I have one. And she comes and she hangs out in my office, which is chilly. She's very, very tall. So I have a blanket in my office, but it's too small for her. So I kind of want to make her her own blanket, and pink is her favorite color and I don't like pink. So it will be nice to get this pink out of my house. And I kind of want to have it for winter holiday time. So if I finish it sooner than that, I will give it to her sooner than that. But that's kind of my thought.